Today, amongst some other things, I'm going to be doing an oil change on my 335 IS. Basically, I was planning on doing it whenever I did the turbos, but since I'm doing some ethanol testing and some tuning testing and stuff like that, I have been doing a whole lot of pretty high power runs. So I am going to be checking a couple things today based on that, but for right now, just for the oil stuff, what I have, and I've went to Walmart and got the European Formula Castrol Edge 10W or 0W40. The newer bottles don't have the BMW specification label on anymore. I don't know why that is, but for the fact that I'm only going to probably drive it for about 2,000 miles, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it in general anyway, because the last bottle that I had, matter of fact, might even be this one. One of the last changes I did, it actually listed the BMW long life specification on the back of it. You'd have to look at it up close, but either way, that oil should be sufficient. Got an STP oil filter for this round from AutoZone. I do have some liquid moly and a filter I got from ECS Tuning over on the pile parts, but I'm gonna do all that when I do the turbo kit. So I did, from ECS Tuning, order a new oil filter housing cap, which kind of looks a little cooler and cleaner. And these can be a bear to get off with your bare hands. As a matter of fact, I barely got it off when I did my oil change on my 08. I haven't personally done an oil change. It was allegedly just done when I bought this car in May. I think it's November now. So from, again, ECS Tuning, I ordered oil filter wrench. Looks like it's a 1/2 inch drive, fits on here, and allows you to easily remove and reinstall that. So really, only ever going to need it for getting it off this one time, because I will be switching to this, which actually has the hex on top for using a regular wrench. 18 foot-pounds going back on this, same with the oil drain pan on the bottom. So I'm going to loosen up the top. Obviously, also going to need some funnels and a drain pan, as we have there. You can do this without using the engine, removing the engine splash shield. You have the little, my flap was gone, but this will open up and you have the drain plug right here, which is really all you need. You might get some spillage on that. I don't know, I've never done it with it on. Matter of fact, I might just do that, and I'm planning on removing this for a different project I'm working on concurrently with this. But so we're going to drain the oil after opening the top so it has some room to breathe down, and it's just basic oil change. The filter housing is a little different than if you're used to American cars. It doesn't have that cartridge or the regular type that you just screw onto the external, so I'll show that when I do that. But go ahead and knock this out real quick. Alright, so if you've never done this before, here's your actual oil filter. It's a paper style element, which is actually kind of cool because it allows you to, if you want, cut it and spread it out, and you can see if you're making metal or anything like that. But you have a little, it's held in by a little O-ring. Just pull back and remove that out. The change kit comes with a new O-ring for this. A new filter and a new drain bolt crush washer. And I think one other gasket or O-ring, correction. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in a Ziploc bag and drain the oil. One thing I didn't mention is I did drive the vehicle as warm, let it cool for a little bit, but if the vehicle's been sitting for an extended period of time, warm it up, let it get to, for 3-5 minutes so the oil's getting warm, helps it drain out better. So with that, like I said, this STP oil filter kit, just about any oil filter kit you're going to get, does have the O-ring that fits onto oil filter cap that fits down into the seals into the oil filter housing. Another O-ring for the actual cap itself, as well as a new crush washer for the drain plug. So that was SCP. That was like 15 bucks. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but for the 5-quart Castrol Edge at Walmart was like 25, and then each individual quart was about 8. So I mean, if you're planning on doing a few of them, it might be cheaper just to buy 2 of these, and maybe after 2 or 3 oil changes, it's actually cheaper. You know, $5 a quart in this bottle, $8 a quart in that bottle. So about 50 bucks for your oil change. When I go to use the ECS cap, I guess I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this central part of the cap from here, you know, get it off and into there. So I'll figure that out and describe it in a second. So heading under now to drain the oil. All right, drain plug is a 17 millimeter. And it goes back on, same thing, 18 foot-pounds of torque. The new crush washer. I'm doing it with the splash shield out on for now, just to see if it splashes on the splash shield. Ooh, ooh, that shoots. I almost got my GoPro. Get an Earl rag. Okay, that sucks. There we go. So we'll let that drain until it gets to a slow drip or stops. And then really, it's pretty mundane to put the oil plug in and put that back in, 18 foot-pounds of torque, and then start filling up the oil. So I'm going to figure out how to swap that inner part of that filter cap. This is literally just a pull out thing, so you can kind of wiggle a little bit and then pop loose. So it's not, there was no retention tabs or anything that I had to push in. Nothing broke. So switching over to the ECS filter cap, I will go ahead and just get it to line up in there, and then hopefully, there you go, it just snaps in. So I'm going to replace this O-ring, the O-ring out of the filter kit, use the O-ring to the small ones coming off. Let me just grab a little hook for that, That's off. Grab a new one. Coat it with a little bit of oil, which my glove actually has a fair amount on there. Push this O-ring on over the nipple. There we go. See that? And same thing, this O-ring. It sounds like I'm still dripping into the drain pan, which is good. So this O-ring will go onto the filter housing, filter cap, like so. I will put a little fresh oil on both of those before I do it. press the new filter on, and that's ready to go in. And then I'm gonna just do with the bolt. I hate when I do that. Here we go. Here's a drain plug bolt. Remove the old gasket. Okay, let's see where it fell. I'll grab those with some grabbers in a minute. Put the new crush washer on, and that's ready to go in once I'm done draining the oil. So, drain plug back in, a little lube around the O-rings, and my new ECS filter cap. It's cool. Wonder if that's a 13 millimeter also. I mean, 17 is what the other one was. Let's see. Oh, it's gonna be a little bigger. So for removing that later on, that's a 19 millimeter that will be used on the ECS unit to loosen and tighten the oil filter cap. So sounds like my oil drain is slowing down. I want to go down and torque the drain plug to 18 foot-pounds. You ever have one of those days where something can go wrong, it will go wrong? It's kind of been my last week. But anyway, my old drain pan basically sprung a leak, so got some mineral spirit work to do on my concrete when I'm done with all this. But that's out of the way. I did torque wrench the oil drain plug to 18 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to coat both these O-rings, a little bit of oil, reinstall this. That too goes to 18 foot-pounds. And then I want to go ahead and put in, so the approximate oil capacity on the N54 after oil change is 6.5 quarts. So I want to go ahead and put 6 in. What I'm going to do is start the engine, let it get to operating temperature. The manual says bring it to about 1100 RPM for 3 minutes, and then the dynamic oil level system should tell you where it is. So if it's showing about a half quart low or in the range or whatever, at that point I'll adjust as necessary till it's at the full mark. So that's the process. That's basically the oil change. It's quick and easy as long as you don't spill oil everywhere, and that's it. All right, so the car's been running for a couple minutes. I'm checking everything, making sure nothing's leaking. That was just a drip from earlier when I took out the filter. But so now I'm going to check the oil level. You know, whether you have iDrive or not, you can do it with the turn signal. So the toggle switch on the front face of the turn signal, you go up until you get to oil, push in on the BC button, and it'll give you your level. So with adding the 6 quarts, it's showing me right at max. I'm not going to add any more, obviously. I'll check it again after driving it for a little bit. And finally, what I was talking about with these filter styles that come with the BMWs, I cut the ends off of it and opened it up so you can get in here and look inside the filter element. If you're curious about if you're having any metal or having any other issues, it's a good way to check to see if you're breaking anything down or you have any bad bearings. So, all right, that's it. Changing the oil on your N54. Thanks for watching.